Okay, so get this. We're diving into this book, Die with Zero, and it's by this guy, Bill
No.
Perkins. And
Ah,
it really has me thinking differently, like about time, money, the whole thing.
yeah.
And the thing is, before you think this is like go into debt or some crazy scheme,
Right.
it's not about that.
No, no.
It's more about, is that whole work, save, retire later thing, is that really like the key to a good life?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. Perkins starts off with this kind of almost shocking statistic, and it's that a lot of people die with tons of money they didn't spend.
It's true. It's like we're all like squirrels hoarding nuts and
Yeah.
never getting to that feast. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and when you really look at the data, like the Federal Reserve, they track this stuff,
Hmm.
median net worth, it actually goes up for a lot of folks, even in their 70s and 80s.
Wow.
So you got to wonder, what are we all waiting for?
What are we missing out on right now?
Exactly.
It's like we forget life. It's not a bank statement. It's those moments, right?
That's what Perkins is getting at, for sure. He's got this idea of life energy, which is kind of cool to think about.
Yeah.
It's the actual time we have to do the things, the
Yeah.
travel, the learning, just hanging out with people we love.
Yeah.
And work. When you think about it, it's trading bits of that energy, right?
Hmm.
For money, usually, to then have those experiences later down the road. But here's the thing.
Okay, I'm with you. Yeah.
What if we could have more of that good stuff now?
Because backpacking across Europe when you're 25, that's different than like a cruise when you're 65, right? Not that there's anything wrong with a cruise, but, you know,
Totally different, yeah.
it's a different kind of energy. You can't get that back.
Exactly. And he's not just talking about crazy adventures. It could be anything. Learning something new, having a family, finally doing that project you always wanted to do. It's more our capacity to enjoy things, really
Mhm.
savor them. It changes as we get older.
Yeah, so timing is key. Okay, got it. But there's another piece of this, isn't there? That money can't just buy.
Oh, yeah, big time. Health. That's like the ultimate enjoyment multiplier. Perkins talks about that a lot. Like, you can plan that perfect trip, save every penny, but if your health's not good, the experience is going to be totally different. He tells this story, kind of sad actually, about his own grandmother. He gives her this big chunk of money, but at that point, all she wanted was to buy him a sweater.
Wow, it really makes you think like all those things we put off, telling ourselves, oh, I'll do that when I've got more time, more money. But time, that's the one thing you can't get more of, right? And health too.
That's exactly where Perkins brings up this idea, and it's kind of wild when you first hear it, the net worth peak.
Okay, yeah, gotta admit, that one threw me for a loop. Most financial advice, it's all about growing that nest egg, not peaking, and then like shrinking it down.
Right, and he knows it's different, like going against the grain and all that. But the point he's making, that peak, it's not about some magic number. It's a shift, like in your head. It's about saying, hey, I've got enough to live comfortably, and maybe, just maybe, piling up more from here, it doesn't actually equal more happiness.
So, not blowing it all on a wild spree, but more like consciously saying, okay, what really matters to me, and how do I use this money for that now?
Exactly. He even points out statistically, a lot of folks, their wealth keeps growing into their 70s, 80s, even though they're naturally spending less anyway. Like, we're almost programmed to just keep accumulating, even if it's not really lining up with what we want out of life.
I feel that. Letting go of the whole gotta save mentality, kind of scary. What if it runs out? What if I live longer than I planned? It's like we're wired to be afraid of spending down.
Absolutely. It's like going against everything we're taught. But Perkins, he argues that by holding on so tight to that, we might miss out on experiences right now in the present, all for this future that nobody can guarantee anyway.
So, how do we actually do it? Figure out that peak without freaking out, sending ourselves into a tailspin financially? There's got to be some kind of, I don't know, framework for this, right?
There is. One of the big things he talks about is this personal interest rate and how it changes over time.
Okay, now you're speaking my language. Break down this interest rate thing for me.
So imagine you're 20 years old, right? Someone gives you the choice. Take your dream trip and now W, or wait 10 years, get 2 trips then. Most 20-year-olds, they're jumping on that plane today.
Oh, wait, 100%. You're young, gotta grab life by the horns.
Exactly. But as we get older, something shifts. That interest rate, it's like it goes up. The experience now, guaranteed, it starts to feel more important than the maybe someday later thing. Less willing to wait because time, it's not infinite.
Makes sense. But if our rate is higher as we age, does that mean, like, go crazy when you're young? Who cares about the
Oh,
consequences?
whoa, hold your horses. It's not about throwing responsibility out the window, okay? It's finding that balance. Perkins isn't saying be reckless. It's about being intentional, recognizing that how much we enjoy things, it evolves. And he uses this great term, the memory dividend.
Memory dividend, huh? Tell me more.
Okay, so think about it. Those experiences, especially when we're young, healthy, they keep paying off way after the trip is over, the event is done. A trip you took years ago, a moment with family, even if it wasn't super expensive, those memories, they probably still make you happy now. They become part of who you are.
Okay, I'm with you. So it's not just the thing itself, it's how it stays with you, those memories shaping your life. I dig that.
Right. And Perkins is saying that dividend, that's got to factor into our money choices, not just the bank balance, but those experiences, the stories you'll have.
Powerful stuff. Okay, so timing matters. We change how we enjoy things, and this memory dividend is real. But how do we actually do it? Go from these ideas to a plan. So how do we actually do it? Go from these ideas to a plan.
Well, this is where Perkins brings in this idea of time bucketing.
Time bucket.
Yeah, time bucketing. Way more fun than budgeting,
I
right?
say. What is that?
It's like being intentional, recognizing that certain stuff, just like you wouldn't wait till your kid's 16 to do Disney World, right? Some things, there's a right time.
You're not wrong. Not going to get bitten by the travel bug when you need a hip replacement. I see what you mean.
Exactly. So time bucketing, it's about thinking what experiences they fit best at different points in life. What do you want to be doing in your 20s with all that energy?
Hmm.
Maybe it's Southeast Asia, backpacking, or like going all in on some crazy creative thing.
Okay, so 20s bucket, got it. What about asking for a friend, the 40s?
40s. Okay, maybe that's those big trips with the family, making those memories we talked about. Or maybe it's finally going for that side hustle, the thing you've always kind of had on the back burner.
And then like 60s beyond, that's more. Spending time with people you love, telling those stories, passing it on.
You got it. And see, it's not about blowing it all early or being a hermit later. It's about thinking it through, making your money match what you care about at different ages.
It's like a roadmap, not for being rich, but for like a life that's actually good.
Okay, but real talk for a sec. Life, it throws curveballs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not everything fits neatly in these buckets.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Life's messy. Unexpected stuff happens. And that's why Perkins, he's really clear. Die with zero. It's not some strict formula. It's about your balance. Like, yeah, gotta be financially secure, but not if it means you don't actually live. He asks these great questions like, if you knew you had 5 fewer years to experience it all, what would you do differently today? Whoa, that'll get you thinking. Makes you realize what you might be putting off. For some later, that might not even be there.
That's it. Taking back control of our own lives. Choosing how we spend time, money, building a life that's full of doing stuff, not just how much we have in the bank.
So for anyone listening, feeling inspired, maybe even a little fired up to rethink things, where's a good place to start?
Honestly, check out Die with Zero. It'll make you think, challenge those priorities, and really embrace the power of experiences, designing a life that's fulfilling beginning to end.
Well said. And on that note, we're wrapping up our deep dive into Die with Zero. Remember, it's never too early or too late to start building a life full of experience, meaning, and yeah, maybe even a few well-timed splurges along the way. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep living life on your own terms.